Good day, everyone, especially to you, Mom. Today, we will be discussing the important role of social mobilization in achieving the goal of the society, and as well as the characteristic, features, and planning framework of social mobilization and how it differs from social responsibility and commitment. So what is social mobilization and responsibility? So social mobilization and responsibility influencing people to build capacity to act on their own behalf has been called the central paradox of social development. The top-down or bottom-up relationship designed to empower is itself based on unequal power. All communities have individual human resources that need to be enhanced and mobilized if development is to be sustainable and in the long run become autonomous. All communities also have some organization or resources. The organized people representing different groups or sector act as a vehicle to develop social harmony and peace and increase the general capacity of the people for self-empowerment. Full participation at the grassroots level via the grassroots organization or the GRO is only possible if the rural or urban people are organized. The community people have to be organized to work together in close proximity and share common interests for community development. The community organization or the CO is a mass coalition of all barangay residents whose continuing economic and social interests are best served by organizing themselves as a group. So there are two types of social mobilization defined. First is social mobilization as defined by UNICEF or the United Nations Children's Fund. Is a broad-scale movement to engage people's participation in achieving a specific development goal through self-reliant efforts. It involves all relevant segments of society, decision and policymakers, opinion leaders, bureaucrats and technocrats, professional groups, religious associations, commerce and industry, communities and individuals. Second is, it is a planned process enlisting the support and active involvement of all sectors within a society that can play a role in achieving an agreed social object and in converging interests and action of institutions, groups, and communities towards that objective. It mobilizes human and material resources to achieve the defined objective and instills it in society and in the community conscience to ensure sustainability.
So now let's proceed about the concept of social mobilization. So what is social mobilization? The concept of social mobilization emerged from the recognition that a genuine participatory approach to development is essential for success and sustainability. Civil society participation in development effort is therefore increasingly recognized by development agencies and governance as essential for promoting good governance, improving responsiveness of national policies to citizens' needs. Social mobilization as an approach in the implementation of Nstp, CWTS, LPS requires working hand in hand with individuals, students, school and community organizations, policymakers, and communities who can forge collective identity to achieve common goals. This approach involves planned actions and process to reach, influence, and involve all relevant segments of society across all sectors from the national to community levels in order to effect positive behavioral and social change. So effective social mobilization involves community organizations harnessing the potential and efforts of government, non-governmental sectors, and citizens to work towards sustainable social, economic, and political development. So now let's talk about the characteristic features of social mobilization. So first is, it is a broad-scale movement. It engages and mobilizes large numbers of people in action to achieve development goals. Next is, it is a planned process. It seeks to facilitate change and development. It entails accountability. It takes into account the felt needs of the people, embraces the critical principle of community involvement, and seeks to empower individuals to action. And it is also includes problem recognition. It begins with conscious recognition of problems and seeks to empower individuals to action. It is a problem-solving advocacy. It involves building consensus between those affected and those who have the solution of the problem so as to arrive at a decision, including the allocation of adequate resources. It includes decision making. It includes initiations, discussion, and making decisions for political will, action, and resource commitment. It fosters acceptance, commitment. It generates acceptance of new ideas, attitudes, and technologies. It avails of all communication resources. It uses all available and potential communication resources for effective networking and active mobilization of information. It is a network for institutional sustainability. It sustains awareness, cooperation, commitment, and action to achieve the common goal leading to the attainment of community VMG or vision mission goal for the development of self-sufficiency.
I will be discussing the 5 key mobilization avenues and goals. So the first is political mobilization. It's the origin of active political assembly and the formation of a grassroots political campaign strategy. This typically begins at the local level but develops to have national level ramifications and outcomes. The second is government mobilization. In war or national defense, organization of the armed forces of a nation for active military service in time of war of other national emergency. In its full scope, mobilization includes the organization of resources of a nation for support of the military effort. The third is corporate mobilization. Aims at securing the support of national and international companies in the promoting appropriate goals, either through the contribution of resources or the carrying of appropriate messages as a part of their advertising or product labeling. The fourth is community mobilization. It's the process of engaging communities to identify community priorities, resources, needs, and solutions in such a way as to promote representative participation, good governance, accountability, and peaceful change. The last is beneficiary mobilization. Aims at informing and motivating the program beneficiaries through training programs, the establishment of community groups, and communication through traditional and mass media. For example, Pantawid Pamilya Pilipino program.
Planning framework for social mobilization. Mission, vision, program, goals, and objectives. As we learn, program objectives are detailed plan to reach a specific and stated goal for an organization. A mission statement recites the general purpose of the organization and tells why it exists. In the vision statement, tells readers where the organization wants to be in the future. In monitoring and evaluation schemes, a monitoring and evaluation schemes are documents that helps to track and assess the results of the intervention throughout the life of a program. In situational analysis, this socio-economic, political, problem need. In social mobilization analysis, political will, service providers, target beneficiaries, gaps in legislation, implementation of laws, communities' involvement in intentional capacities, operational activities, expected output, outline, timetable, research and budgetary requirements, responsibility center.
So let's move on to the elements and processes of social mobilization. The first is the advocacy. Advocacy is an element of social mobilization which is focused on the various actors who create or initiate the advocacy program or service delivery. The second is the information, education, and communication or IEC. These are sets of accurate and consistent information on programs and services as a timely response by those in direct contact with the communities. The information materials include brochures, posters, handouts, newsletters, and audiovisual materials. There are two goals of IEC advocacy programs. The first is to introduce or change a policy, program, or registration, or shift the position of influential individuals or organizations on specific issues. The second is to change perspective, attitudes, beliefs, values, behavior, or norms within individuals or a group of individuals. The third is the community organization. Community organization involves the process of all uniting all intersectoral allies to come up with an organization to raise people awareness and demand for a particular development program. This organization will assist in the delivery of resources and services to individuals and community groups. The fourth is capacity building. This refers to the power of the people to do something for themselves or for their community. A social mobilization can be attained if the network of advocates and mobilizers is continually expanded through capacity building or coalition building. Capacity building seeks to improve the knowledge, skills, and attitudes of services providers as well as the beneficiaries for them to do their jobs.
Good day, everyone. This time, let's talk about the key elements of social mobilization. But before that, what is social mobilization? Social mobilization is the process of bringing together all possible intersectoral partners and allies participate in development programs. It builds on the contribution of technical experts and emphasizes the capabilities and rules of social allies and partners including community members. So these are the key elements of social mobilization. First is our organizational development. So what are the example of organizational development? Example of activities often a part of organizational development include employee training, strategic realignment, product research, management is restructuring, and service development. So a second one is the capital formation for development through community service. So for saving to be utilized for investment purposes, they must be mobilized in banks and financial institutions. And the businessman, the entrepreneur, and the farmer invest this community saving and capital goods by taking loans from this bank and financial institution. This is the capital formation. So the third is a training for human resource development. So training in development in human resource management or HRM refers to a system for educating employees within a company. It includes various tools, instructions, and activities designed to improve employee performance. So it's an opportunity for employees to increase their knowledge and upgrade their skill. So the last one is social economic development. So social economic development is the process of social and economic development in a society.
The benefits of social mobilization. 1. Poverty alleviation. Social mobilization is an important tool poverty alleviation process. It enables communities and poor to help themselves to engage in activities that will solve their own problems and track poverty and its multi-dimensional form. Number 2, promoting democratic governance. Poverty and bad governance mutually reinforce each other. Social mobilizations must be institutionalized within the government encourage community. Number 3, conflict prevention. Social mobilization helps organize people to address common problems.
Social responsibility refers to the obligation of individuals or organizations to act in ways that benefit society as a whole. This can include actions such as protecting the environment, promoting ethical business practices, and contributing to charitable causes. An example of social responsibility and commitment could be a company that implements environmentally friendly practices, such as reducing waste and using renewable energy sources. This demonstrates a commitment to protecting the environment and reducing the company's carbon footprint.
Hello everyone. This point in time, I will going to tackle about the fundamentals of direct action organization by Bobo et al. 1991. The personal is political. An organization is overwhelmed by personal relationships. It is about changing the world in how individuals act together. To form good relationships, it is essential that an organizer is motivated by strong feelings of love and care. What motivates people is their self-interest, not as the organizer interprets it, but as the organizer actually expresses it to those who listen carefully. Self-interest then refers to what makes people feel good as well as to what materially benefits them. Helping others, being useful, doing something important, or doing what is morally right are all forms of self-interest motivation. The 3 principles of direct action. Number 1 is win real, immediate, and concrete improvements in people's lives. Number 2, give people a sense of their power. So number 3 is alter the relationship of power.
Meeting facilitation. Facilitating a meeting requires someone's due. Understand the goals of the meeting and the organization. Organization goals are strategic objectives that a company's management establishes to outline expected outcomes and guide. Keep the group on the agenda and move forward. As facilitator, your role is to keep the group on track to accomplish its goals. You help move the meeting along, but the group provides the content. Involves everyone in the meeting, both controlling the domineering people and drawing out the shy ones, and involving everyone in the meeting, including drawing out the quiet participant and controlling the domineering ones. Make sure that decisions are made democratically.
Building a joint coalition for social mobilization. Kendall, 1996. If you think of building coalition, beware. Coalitions are not built because they are good moral or nice to get everyone working together. Coalitions are about building power. A coalition is an organization of working together for a common goal. It comes in a variety of forms. It can be permanent or temporary, single or multi-issue, geographically defined, limited to certain constituents, or combination of all the above. Advantages and disadvantages of working coalition. Advantages: being what couldn't be won alone. Many issues require large number of people and many resources to beat. Building an ongoing power base increase the impact of individual organizations' efforts. The disadvantages distract from other work. Coalition can divert your time and resources.
Now let us proceed to the provision of services and goods. Provision of goods and services complements cash assistance to the poor. The welfare system must undertake programs to provide necessities such as medical care, food and shelter, as well as supportive services designed to improve the quality of life of poor people. Let us discuss first health services. Health services are now considered to be essential ingredients of even a minimum standard of living. The delivery system for health services is generally inefficient in the communities.
The social responsibility of community officials regarding this problem must be brought to the attention of higher government authorities that can come up with healthcare programs such as Medicare and Medicaid, which provide health care coverage to persons or public assistance from the government. A Medicaid system can be supported or sponsored by a civic welfare services organization or a group under the LTS or CWTS program. Next is shelter. A concentration of poor families in deteriorating neighborhoods often leads to problem of vandalism, crime, drug abuse, and general malaise among the residents. Lastly, the food. Providing food to the poor during economic depression or calamities can be done through school food stamps and lunch programs. Food assistance to the poor has grown to include elderly nutrition and distribution of surplus foods solicited from the NGOs and GOs, other agencies, and university students who voluntarily share what they can give to the poor.